world, it is Sheila, and today is another requested video on when ISFPs are unhealthy in relationships. So, disclaimer again. Well, first of all, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hi, I'm Sheila. I'm an ISFP, and I'm going to throw myself under the bus today. And if some of you ISFPs relate, leave me a message. If you don't, then I'm just a crazy person I'm on my own little crazy train. So, unhealthy. Over the years, definitely have had my ups and downs with stable. Like, I'm sure everybody, right? We all have our moments in life where we're like just trying to keep our head above water, trying to figure out what life means, what our place is in this world, what our focus is, and our purpose. At least for me, that's always been my number one goal in life is, what is my purpose in life? Why am I here? What's my goal? And how am I going to serve that goal? So there's a little of my meta as a sensor. Who says sensors can't be meta, right? We all do everything, correct? So when I've been unhealthy in my life, it's definitely when I've lost that grasp of my purpose, and when or how that's shown itself is usually through anger, frustration, stubbornness. Oh my goodness, so stubborn, and very angry. Just like, I have explosive anger issues, and I have worked constantly on them over my life, and I would say now they're pretty contained. Occasionally I will explode and just like, psh. But the nice thing is I'm not one to hold a grudge. I'm not one to let it fester and linger long. Once I've blown up, then I'm like, oh, okay, and I can move forward. But there's always the aftermath of picking up those pieces of shrapnel that you've hit others with, you know? So with the anger, even though it's like my anger, once it comes out, it becomes other people's problems. You know, like, not problems, but it affects others because my anger is sometimes directed at others, or innocent bystanders, you know, get hit with my shrapnel. So yeah, when I'm unhealthy, that's where it kind of comes out. You want to hear some, like a fun little, so I guess when I'll give it one example of my anger, and I'm not sure what other function this entails. Probably my FI. It seems like my FI is always the culprit for a lot of things. So my husband, I love coffee, and this was years ago. We're talking before my daughter, so 14 years ago or so at least. And it was like a Friday night, and he's like, I'll go tomorrow morning to Starbucks and get your favorite coffee, and then I'll come back home and we can have a nice morning. I'm like, ooh, that sounds great. And so I went to bed like anticipating my coffee and what I wanted and my favorite thing. So in the morning, he's like in a hurry. He's like, what do you need? What do you need? I'm like, a caramel macchiato. And I'm like, do you need me to write it down? Because his memory is almost as bad as mine. He's like, I got it. So I hop into the shower and I see him leaving, and then he was talking to the neighbor across the street. I hop into the shower and he comes home with my coffee, and he kind of tentatively hands it over like, here you go. And right away I knew he messed up my order. I'm like, what did you get me? He goes, well, a chocolate espresso or chocolate something. I'm like, I wanted a caramel macchiato. And instead of him just saying, I'm sorry, I messed up, he goes, well, I tried to call you, but you didn't answer your phone. And I happened to be in the shower. So right away he threw it back at me like it was my fault. I didn't answer the phone, that he ordered the wrong thing. And I was just like, what? And he's like, well, I got Don, the neighbor, he went and got Don something too. And so he went outside to hand Don his coffee, and they're down at the end of the driveway. And I take a sip of this nasty mocha, whatever, and it was not what I wanted. And it was disgusting. So I'm in my robe, towel wrapped up on my head. I go to the front door. He and the neighbor guy are standing at the end of the driveway. I'm like, this effing sucks. And I whip it down the driveway, and it just like smashes all on the ground. And him and the neighbor both, they had to look at each other like, you're in trouble now. And I slam the door and go back in the house. I'm like, I go back in and I start laughing at myself because I'm like, oh my goodness, Sheila, you are being a brat over a wrong cup of coffee, and you just made a complete fool in front of the neighbor, like crazy lady in her robe and towel head, whipping coffee down the driveway. And so, I mean, once that anger came out, I realized how stupid I was, and and he came in, and I see him hosing off the driveway with a cup of coffee, and so, but yeah, that anger, and I think because he turned it around and all of a sudden attacked me for his wrong, I think, it was just like, yeah, so little things like that, with the anger. So yeah, I can be a little crazy cray, but to my defense, we were going through some like infertility things, and I was taking a lot of hormones. So I blame it on the hormones, not my craziness, but maybe a combo of both. So I think as an ISFP, our emotions definitely take control of our actions sometimes. Like, I don't even realize these emotions. I mean, I realize them, but I'm already acting on them outwardly. And like I said, if somebody's, an innocent bystander. So for me, it's been temper that I've been very unhealthy in my relationship. But I've been able to rein it in, which is thankful because I have a daughter who I don't want to model that poor behavior. So, other unhealthy things in relationship. I guess in the beginning of relationships, when I was younger, I used to be a lot more needy and clingy. It's like when I would get into a relationship and I really liked somebody, it's like I just wanted to spend all my time with them and be with them all the time. And I could see that being, a little clingy and a little needy. And then I realized once, then I knew that they liked me, and, the feeling was mutual. It calmed down, and that that insecurity or desire or clinginess dissipated, and I was just like, oh, okay. And then I felt more normal in relationships. But often then, once I got in and I realized, oh, I think one nice thing about ISFPs, we realize what we like and don't like quickly. So we're not one to sit around in a relationship and waste our time. We're just like, oh, I'm not happy. This is not the person I want to be with. I don't like this person. And we will move on or marry a little way quickly. So I don't think we are one to stick around in a relationship unless, I guess, if we really like that person a lot and they're not, on the same page as us, we might fight for that to see if we could change their mind. Like, hey, you should like me as much as I like you, because we like them so much. So we could probably be a little stalkerish. I might have driven by some guys' houses, checking up on them late at night, seeing. So I guess that can go both ways. Either we're way too involved or we're way too leave us alone. That extreme polar of the feelings, I guess. So there's another thing that we could be a little unhealthy with. Just trying to rein in all those emotions and feelings over the years and how to contain them into a nice package where we're not too stalker and we're not too screw you, leave us alone. There's just trying to balance that, I think, at least for me. Other ISFPs, let me know if that's something that's been on your struggle over the years. So that's just a little tidbit of a couple things that we might look unhealthy in a relationship. And it all really depends on our growth mindset, like I said, and how stable we are. And, being an ISFP, we've got that feelings high, and a lot of ISFPs are females. I think we're a little higher population than more males. There's still a lot of males out there, but we've got a lot of females, and females and hormones, sometimes they don't mix. Hate to use that as an excuse, but hell yeah, it's an excuse. All right, have a great day. Bye.